Hi, today we're going to be covering graphing linear inequalities. And I thought what we would do is we would first start with a quick warm-up, which is a review from our last unit. So go ahead, pause this video. Remember, you are going to be getting x by itself right here, and you're going to be moving everything over here. Then you're going to come on here and you're going to graph the inequality and show me what that looks like. So pause the video and come back when you're ready. Okay, so hopefully you moved your 1 over from one side to the other, and you got x is less than 2. So if you graphed it, said this was 2, and you did an open circle, and you went this direction, or you did this, you're good to go. All right, so that's a quick review. Now, what we're going to be starting to do, and then here, let's just do problem number 2, sorry. Go ahead, pause the video again. Based on our last lesson, you should be able to graph this line. Okay, so hopefully you were able to graph this line and you started with the y-intercept and then used your slope here. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to start here and I go down 2 and over to the right 3, down 2, over to the right 3, and so on. And then I come back up here, and my graph looks like this. Okay. And hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, today we're going to actually be going into linear inequalities. So we are combining this right here with this, and we're going to add in a few things. So hopefully this is a review from what you've done in the past. Let's look at this first example right here. Now, the only difference is we now have this inequality, and all that means is that we are going to now be shading our solutions. So right now the solution is this line right up here, right? Well, when we have an inequality, all of a sudden a certain portion of this graph becomes the solution or the possible solutions, okay? So for this first one, let's go ahead and graph it. Our y-intercept is 3. We're going to start here, and our slope is 1 over 2. So I'm going to go up 1 to the right 2. Okay, and then I'm going to go back and go down 1 to the left 2. All right, so then you're going to graph your line, okay, and make sure this is a solid line, and I'll discuss that here in just a minute. And because our inequality, it's saying that y, okay, so our y is less than or equal to this whole line, what you're going to do is you're going to put your pencil on your line, especially at your y-intercept, because now we're saying y is less than, okay, means it's less than this line. So when you shade, you are going to now shade everything below the line. Okay, doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to know that one side of your line is shaded. All right, let's look at the second equation. What we're going to do is we are going to then look at our y-intercept, which is -2. And then because it's a negative slope here, remember, I'm going to go and put a 1 down here like this. I'm going to go down 3 and to the right 1. To the right 1. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go the opposite direction. Okay. All right. Now this time, pay attention to this. This is not equal to the line. It's only greater than the line. So when that happens, I don't know if you remember, we had a dashed line. Okay. If for some reason you forget this, remember you can always just write a little note to me and say, this is supposed to be dashed or dotted. Okay. Now, how do I know which way to shade? Again, I'm going to put my pencil on my y-intercept on my line, and I'm going to say, oh, y is greater than. So what is greater than? Well, if I go above and up, that is greater than. So this is telling me that everything on this side of the line, this whole section, no matter where I put my dot, if I put it here, I'm gonna go up. If I put it here, I'm gonna go up. You're going to shade all of that. Okay, so go ahead, shade the right side of your line, because this means that all these, this whole area that I'm coloring in is all part of the solution, okay? Let's do one more. Ooh, I'm seeing something familiar. Okay, y is less than 6. Okay, well, this is kind of like when we went and talked about y is equal to 6, but now we have an inequality. So tell me where 6 is on our y-axis. Well, it's right here. Okay, which direction am I going to be drawing our line? Am I going to be drawing it this way? I hope you said no, because it's covering up all the y's. I can't see where 6 is. So hopefully you said we're going to go in this direction, but also remember, it's not equal to the line, so we are going to do a dashed line across here, like this. And then again, I'm going to say, oh, let me put my pencil on the line, and I'm going to say, okay, y is less than 6. So it has to be everything less than the line, or less than where 6 is. So go ahead, shade everything below this line. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. You can see I'm kind of like scribbling, but you can tell exactly where I shaded. Okay. Now let's do a little cheat sheet, because I know that was really, really quick and dirty, okay? Super fast. So what is the difference between your less than, greater than, and your less than, equal to, or greater than or equal to symbols? It has to do with the line. So let's just make ourselves a little greater than or less than. It means you're going to draw a dashed line, okay? And this means that solutions are not, okay, are not on the line. But when we have a less than or equal to, or a greater than or equal to, we have a solid line, and it's going to tell us that solutions include and are on the line, okay? All right, how do you know where to shade? You can do a test point, right? So that's one option, test point. Or you can say less than or equal to is going to be below the line, and greater than and equal, oops, that's terrible, equal to, and equal to is going to be above the line, okay? All right, let's look at page 2 here. Okay, so this time it's giving us a shaded graph and asking us to write a linear equation. Okay, well, let me dissect this a little bit. First of all, can we tell just by the shading first what the inequality is going to be? Well, I see that it's a dotted line, so it's going to be a greater than or less than, but it's not equal to, so it's a dashed. So then I see, okay, well, if I have a shading this direction, this means that it's going to be greater than my line, but not greater than or equal to, okay? So make sure you draw your greater than. And I'm going to say y, because it's always y is greater than a number. And where does it cross our y-axis? Remember, this is our y, this is our x. Where does it cross? Well, I'm seeing that it crosses at 2. So my y-intercept is 2. And now I have to figure out, well, what's my slope? Because y equals mx plus b, right? So we got to figure that out. Well, as I'm going here, I'm going to go, okay, let me pick the next point that crosses. So I see this right here, this point here. Let me make a little note to myself. And when I do my slope on the graph, I go up 1. So I'm going to go up 1, and then I'm going to go over 1, 2. So look at that, 1/2 x plus 2 is the linear inequality that represents this graph shown. All right, let's look at the next ones and answer the questions. All right, so now we're just asking about solutions, okay? So it says, what is an example of a solution to the inequality? Let's look at y is greater than x minus 2 for our first example. So when we look at this, we look at, well, this area right here is a solution because it's a dashed line right here. This line is not a solution. So if we wanted to, we could say, what is an example? Oh, what is an example of a solution? Well, here's a good one right here. Let's look at this. What's that point? We could say 0, 0 is a solution. So then the question is 2, 0 a solution to the inequality? Well, let's graph that. Okay, is 2, 0 a solution? 1, 2. Oh, is this right here, we just talked about it, a solution? No, because it's on the line, and that line does not include, it's greater than the line, not on the line. And then it says, is negative 2, 3 a solution? So let's look at negative 2, 1. Oh, here, let me show you here. Negative 2, I go 1, 2, and positive 1, 2, 3. Right here, is that a solution? Yes, it is. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. What is an example of a solution to this right here, this equation? Well, it could be anything in this shaded area, and it could be something on the line. So you could pick whatever you want, but I'm going to say, oh, look at this right here. 0, 0 again is a solution, but let me pick something different. Okay, 2, 2. Let's just say 2, 2 is a solution. Then it asks the question, is 0, 2 a solution? Is that a solution? It's on the line and it's solid, so yes. And then I say, oh, is 3, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that a solution? Oh, that's also a solution. Look at that. Nice. Yes. Okay. Last page. Now we have to do a little bit of math. We get a little bit more difficult. All right. What do you notice about this question number 5? What is our equation to a line? Well, it's y is equal to mx plus b, right? Well, I'm not seeing that here. I'm seeing x and y on the same side. So we have to get x over to this side of the equation. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to subtract 5x. Ooh, my pen's not quite working here. And subtract 5x from both sides. And now I have negative 2y. Guys, something's wrong with my pen. Sorry. Hold on. Let me try this again. All right. Negative 2y is less than negative 5x plus 10. And now I have to get rid of my negative 2. So I'm going to divide by negative 2 all the way across. Negative 2. And if I rewrite this, I now have y is less than 5 halves x plus, nope, minus 5. But, oh, I'm remembering I have divided by a negative. Look at that. What does that do to my sign? Mrs. Baxter, you have to flip this guy. Yep. Make sure that you are flipping your sign the other direction. All right, now we have it in a form that we can graph. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to use this here to graph. So we start with our y-intercept. And let's go down here, and I have negative 5 is our y-intercept. And we have a positive 5 over 2. So I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2, which takes us here. 3, 4, 5 over 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. And then because it's a greater than but not equal to, I'm going to draw a dashed line through here. And then now y is greater than my line. So everything on this side of the line is going to get shaded because it's greater than, it goes up above the line. All right, we're gonna have to do number 7. Let's look at number 7. See if you can graph this by yourself. Pause the video, give it a try, and come back and see if we got the same answer. Okay, so hopefully you remembered that this was a horizontal line. We're going to start at -4, and you drew a dashed line because it's just greater than -4. So if it's greater than, we're going to do everything above here. Okay? Alrighty. Now, going to the questions. I keep forgetting that those are there, but going to the questions, now identify points that are a solution and identify points that are not a solution to each of the inequalities. Go ahead and pause the video and then come back and see if you found similar answers. Okay, so for this first one, it's in red, identify a point that is a solution to the equality. Well, if you picked a point anywhere in here but not on the line, you would be correct. So if we picked 0, 0, for example, that would be correct. A solution that is not an inequality would be, say for example, let's say I picked this point right here. That point would be 2, 0. That would not be a solution. Now, if you picked something out here and you said 5, -5, that also would not be a solution, okay? Anything in the white part. All right, and then for the other equation, identifying a solution, if you said 0, 0, because it's in the shaded area, you'd be correct. Also, if you picked anything above the line but not on the line, so if we picked the y-intercept and said 0, -4, right here, this one right here, that is not a solution. And then hopefully you picked another solution that would be below it, and that would also be correct. Okay, so that is today's notes. Feel free to grab the homework. If you have any questions, let me know.